What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action, spawning in the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Thor. His name is Ulysses. His opponent today, a man who we haven't really featured much on the channel recently, but he's back. I don't know where he went, and he's been playing some Greek for us, testing his mustard against the competition, and he is playing as Zeus, and his name is Define. The map, Watering Hole. Relics on the map, we've got that Tail of Cerberus here. Special attack recharge time, minus 25%. Up here as well, we've got that Kopesh of Horus. Damage bonus against myth units, plus 1x. Over here, we've got Ankh of Ra, plus 0.05 favor per second. On the top side here, we've got Scales of Echidna. Minus 50%, 15% of food, wood, and gold cost for those myth units. So, we're back and at it again. Thor versus Zeus. A classic matchup. A matchup for the ages. Look at this from Ulysses. I love this here from Ulysses. Ah, he shot it. Shoot it with this dwarf. Oh, he's moving it over here. I don't hate that at all. I love that. Look at that. That's literally photo mode worthy. Hang on, I gotta take a photo of this. That's photo mode worthy. Are you kidding me? How often do you get to see one ox cart getting 3 different resources into it? Hang on, let's just zoom in like this. Beautiful. And I'm just gonna that there is yeah, that look, some people, they like to see things like amazing plays. You know, other people, they like to see great teamwork. You know, what I like to see is just a man being efficient. That's all I want. I'm a simple man. I got simple tastes. And Ulysses, chef's kiss. Nonetheless, Divine, like I said, I haven't seen a whole lot from him lately. He's definitely been playing. I know he had a little hiatus there. Everyone who leaves Age Mythology ends up coming back. That's the kind of golden rule. You're never done with Age of Mythology. It always kind of pulls you back in eventually. It's too good of a game. But I do remember he was pretty outspoken in his own Twitch channel about what he thought about Norse. He said, Norse's economy is too dang powerful. I can't compete. Well, Norse's eco took a hit, and maybe he's ready. So we'll see what he's going to go for. Now, he was doing one town center play. He was doing one town center play against Norse beforehand. But now that, as we are seeing Athena coming through, but now that, you know, he's playing against Thor, a Thor player who is going for a very late advance time, mind you, also going through Forseti, he's going to say, maybe I can get away with a town center. And Divine constantly testing things, constantly limit testing what works and what doesn't work for his pride and joy in Zeus. As the pig getting finished up over here, Ankh of Ra gets dropped in. And the villagers will make their way up to this top position. And Divine says, I'm finishing up with my pig and coming over onto those chickens there. Interesting that he did that. Like, he kind of didn't have resources for it, but he kind of did. Just literally barely had resources for it. There was some insane anti-Norse propaganda, though. Like, have you ever played versus Norse AI? It's so strong. Yeah, that's true. Like, if you put... Actually, I think that is 100% true. On the recent... I don't know about this patch, but on the recent patch, I'm pretty sure if you ran, like, a Titan AI versus itself, and you had it, like, playing as Loki or playing as Norse versus, like, a non-Norse Civ, the Norse Civ would win the game. Right? Is that how the story goes? I'm not sure exactly how much that says about anything, but it definitely says something. Town center up for Divine. And he's going to grab those zebra. Over on this side, we are now going to be seeing Ulysses opening up with double great halls here. Now, this makes some sort of sense. Divine known for one town center play, probably wanting to go into Minotaur. So why not get these great halls out just in case? Start with some raiding cavalry to harass, just in case he's going for the 2 town centers. And if we see the Minotaurs and we see the hoplites and everything else, then we can make ourselves a whole bunch of Hersa. That's got to be the plan here for Ulysses. But Divine already on 2 town centers. 5 minutes and 45 seconds into this game, we're seeing the first couple of units coming out. Watchtowers to come through. And my God, does this look like straight out of the Nullus playbook of all things Greek fast 2 town center or not? This is literally right out of the playbook. This is the playbook. He says, all right, fast 2nd town center. Get watchtowers. Get hand axe, pickaxe, husbandry, plow. Probably not plow, actually. Plow's a little bit of a step too far. But get hand axe, pickaxe, husbandry. Then we make units. And only then. Not before. Why? Well, what's the point? I can just make my economy even stronger than it already is getting. You have the fast plow build order. I have been seeing very, very high-level players throwing a farm or 2 down early. I don't understand it. I don't know why. But they've been doing it. I think it could be just so that they're guaranteeing themselves to always have some food income, so they're never going to get 0 food when they move to another hunt position. That makes a little bit of sense, but arguably it'd be better to not and just macro better. But anyways, it makes a little bit of sense. But we're not seeing that from Divine anyways. He's now going to throw down double military academy. He sees the 3 raiding cavalry and he says, all right, easy. I'll make some hoplites. There's raiding cavalry, throwing axemen, coming out. Double longhouses in the main base here for Ulysses. Where are his armor upgrades? He still hasn't have himself those bronze ones, but up to that 2nd town center. And how far behind on villages right now? This is the beautiful thing about Thor. Unlike the other Norse, is if someone goes for a fast 2nd town center, you're not really in a rush to get it because you're not going to be that far behind. And we talked about this in a previous cast. You get your pick of the town center you want. Your opponent has to cower in the main base. And there's the 2 farms you were talking about. Divine is the pioneer of this. Divine the pioneer. Insane. Gagliardo Gabriel asks, are village centers still a thing in Watering Hole? Village centers are a thing whenever you want village centers to be a thing. They're a certain type of strategy, right? You have to be prepared with a village center. So either your opponent is going to stay 1 town center and you stay 2 town centers, or village center, 1 town center, and you have to defend, you have to make units, you have to push out, right? Or they're going to go for a 2nd town center significantly later than you, catch up, overtake your economy, and win, unless you hit a timing attack or hit a lot of good raids. One of the 2. Nice little snipe here from Ulysses. Gets in, picks off 1 villager. Divine trying to hold with his Minotaur. 2 villagers down. Big fat attack. Another villager down. That is what I'm talking about. That's control right there. And another villager on the front. 1 more smack. Yep. Ulysses, the raider. He's in. He is the king. And he is here to inflict some pain onto Divine. Divine down to 47 villagers now. Not the end of the world, but any sort of advantage that he was cooking is kind of gone. Now, Divine goes into Hoplite, Pacifist, Toxote, Peltas. He's got no idea what he should build. He says, give me it all. I don't care. Now, I'm going to say it again because I'm not 100% sure. So I want you guys to tell me how stupid I am, right? And before I say it, you obviously are going to start typing, Boit, you're stupid. That's what happens. But I think Jarls are good. I think naked Jarls are good. They don't need Thundering Hooves. They don't need Ring of a Jarl. They're better if they have them. But I think they're good. And when are they good? They're good when your opponent has got a Pacifist and Peltast. That's the time. Or Axeman Slinger, right? That's the time for a good old-fashioned Jarl. See, even Rappel agrees with me. Now, there are hoplites here, so that does make life just a little bit challenging. But nonetheless, we've got a cheeky little Pegasus coming through, as there is an Underworld passage here. Will Divine go for it? He's kind of out of position for the time being with his hoplites. He could go for the attack right now, possibly get some damage done. Now, just in terms of mechanics, for those of you wanting to know exactly how to affect this the best way possible, never mind, I'm not going to show you it because it's happening. And Divine obviously did that here as he got through that Underworld very, very quickly. The villagers making a run for it for the time being. Heroic Age comes through. Couple of villagers going down as Ulysses does manage to pull back. Army on the way back here as well. And the main town center might be under a little bit of trouble. Might be in a little bit of trouble here. As the flaming weapons gets dropped down, the defensive restoration to try and keep things alive goes down as well. And Divine is out of here. Ulysses cleans up the Underworld passage. Heroic Age God Power for Heroic Age God Power. But Divine gets some much needed revenge damage onto the economy. The villager differential still close. As Divine moving into the main base, there's still some flaming weapons in. You got to be careful here. Don't want to be giving any more value than you've already given. As Divine retreats back, Ulysses slightly in front on population here, but military resource value in terms of for Divine in front by just the tiniest of bits here. As Ulysses wandering forward. Divine turns, ready to start poking down everything here. Peltas on the back, getting some heavy damage done onto those throwing axemen here. As the Manticore getting smacked down by the Hearse, manages to stay alive for a little bit longer. Look at the difference on military now, as it looks to me like Divine manages to hold on that fight. And not only that, take a little cheeky look at a certain Zeus player's favor, clearing up to 100 nearly perfectly, mind you, as this is 8 seconds from coming online. Now Ulysses has to deal with another restoration. Plus there's going to be a fortress in his face. And this army that he couldn't beat before is only getting stronger. There's the villagers for Ulysses spread out all around the map, getting nice resources in. Now the question is, what do you build against this army composition? That's the hard part. Now for me, perfect answer to all of this is throw an Axeman Huskarl. I don't want to bother with raiding cavalry. I don't want to bother with battle boar or trolls. Just give me Huskarl. Give me throw an Axeman. Call it a day. But tier on the way, fortified town centers also coming through as well. When raiding cavalry never gets a fight because hoplites body block them. Well, yeah, that's... You can't expect... Okay, guys. Come on, there's got to be some semblance of realism, right? Some semblance. The hoplites have a spear. The horse ain't going to run through the spear. Is it? Do you think the horse should run through the spear? I don't. Not me. He can run through an archer if he likes. I don't mind that. But a spear? Nope. Not allowed to run through it. As the Petropolite now out for Divine, trying to siege down, break this position. Does manage to swing around onto those Petropolite islands at the back there. Restoration does get dropped down, but not that big of a deal for Ulysses. He can just pull back. There's a raiding cavalry and everything else for Ulysses. Still trying to break in. He's made the cardinal sin of taking a gigantic fight while he's going to the Mythic Age. He drops down the Fimbulwinter here. Alright, guys. Who else thinks the Fimbulwinter has been... It was in a good spot once upon a time. Not in team games. It was broken in team game. In 1v1, is it doing okay? It's doing a decent amount of damage here. Divine drops down 14 villages. Not bad. 0 income for that entirety of that period of time there. Not too bad. But you reckon it could do something else? I reckon you should get bonus damage versus buildings while Fimbulwinter's in effect. Or like the buildings have less armor or something, I don't know. Because it's snow. They're snowed in. They're structurally unsound. Anyways. I'm just here playing backseat game designer. I'll take no responsibility for any design decisions made. And now is the perfect time for Jarls. Right now is the perfect time for some good old fashioned Jarl. But Divine is struggling. I just was talking about how bad Fimbulwinter is. Yep, let's not buff Fimbulwinter. It seems to have done the trick here. This has done some serious damage. And Divine also is going to be having a Lightning Storm in his back pocket in this game. As the Huskarl do manage to get in onto some of those Peltas, but a couple of Harassment in going to be more than enough to deal with those Huskarl. Ulysses only... Well, he's got 3 Great Halls. That's enough. That's enough for some Jarl. How does Ulysses have less pop and more towns in this world? He doesn't have his houses up.
Hey, Boit.
Maybe he's got his houses up. There they are. They're coming down. As it looks like Divine has managed to hold for the time being. He's up to 150 pop, trying to squeeze every little last ounce of shenanigans out. Every single last ounce of unit that he can muster to try and break through this position. And same too for Ulysses. 47 on wood. 47 on wood. 41 on gold. Because why not? There's a throw an axeman here. They are getting sniped down by these peltasters. Take a look at how the peltasters fire. This is like optimal time to put your dancing shoes on. Optimal time to get your dancing shoes on with those thrown axemen. Back and forth, dodge that damage. Hips, elbows, knees and toes. That's not what the saying is. But yeah, a little bit of dancing, you know? Yeah, dip, dive, duck, and dodge, exactly. But mostly dancing. As Divine continues to attempt to break through here, but now the dangerous units are coming in. The ballista. If Ulysses can simply just hold here until he gets 4, 5, 10 ballista out, there's almost nothing that he's going to be able to do here. Or Divine's going to be able to do here. Metropolis can come in and snipe down the ballast though, as that's exactly what he's trying to do. Smack. Gets a little bit of damage done, but not much. There's more units to come through now for Ulysses. He's up to 220 population. Not up to 260 though. Another restoration. That's 160 pop. Now, oh sorry, pop. Favor to the next restoration. Now, he spent 140. Was that right? 140. Oof. As the Ulysses army decides to crash in yet again. Divine dropping down to 160 population here. Portable rams on the way, but military resource value still holding strong. Hera queued up, but resources not in the bank just yet for Divine. The fortress goes down. The ballista getting taken out. Oop, oop, oop. Little dodges? Nope, no dodges just yet. And now that that fortress is down, effectively, all Ulysses needs is maybe 1 minute to mass units and then a move. Because there's going to be lightning storm to come through, so he needs to get something done. Great control here, though, from Ulysses on that specific fight, dragging those Harassment back. Both players losing a hefty amount of units. And Ulysses pulls back yet again. Now, easy way to play around. Easy. One way to play around Lightning Storm is hill fort, hill fort, hill fort, all around the town center. And then once Lightning Storm comes down, you can garrison and the units are all going to survive. You might be unlucky with a building or two, but the units will all survive. And wow, Ulysses just can't get to pop. He's got decent upgrades. He is making Ox Caravans, so that's cutting into any sort of resources he can potentially use right now. Especially if he doesn't really need to. He's got himself the Dwarven Mine. But great throwing axeman damage to come through. As the fortress for Divine to come up yet again. He's doing such a great job of keeping those resources low, spending everything he absolutely needs to do. Now, maybe this is enough to survive the lightning storm. I'm not exactly sure. Divine might want to be careful. Looks like he is being a little bit careful here. And Ulysses basically just has to hug... the town center for a while. As he decides to turn around, take the fight, Bellerophon to come through. Ulysses dives back into these buildings here. He's in the hill fort. He's in the town center. There's so many other things for this lightning storm to attack that most likely the entirety of this army is going to be surviving here. And indeed it does. But the town center falls. Now it's 230 to 210 population. Cheeky little side build coming down from Ulysses to lock off the trade route and all the other good stuff that can happen there. So the hill fort does end up going down. And finally, Ulysses is at full pop. He's at full pop now. He can now start getting himself some more armor upgrades. It's full bronze for Divine. I've already said it once, and I probably should have said it a million times by now, but Jarls. Surely Jarls here. You don't even have to replace everything. You can go Jarl, Huskarl, throw an axeman. As Ulysses makes a pretty huge misstep with those Huskarl, with those throw an axeman, trying to get the Huskarl around onto the back of those Peltas there, but great control from Divine. Cleans them all up as the front line, however, has been finished, and that will allow those Huskarls through onto the back here. And now Divine to take the third town center, and after a gigantic grind, it's looking like he's going to be able to break through Ulysses' map control, Ulysses' power, and everything else. And in that moment, Ulysses says GG, taps out, and that's the game. Well. An interesting game, and a very, very interesting comment on, you know, this one unit. That, I mean, Ulysses, I think it's mostly just from the fact that you look at this unit and you go, man, why would I ever build this guy? And I think the reason you build him is he's got a heap of effective hack armor. Compare this to Huskarl, 128. Compare this to Throwing Axeman, 93. You come to 250 something, and then all of a sudden you're like, hang on, that's a tank. That's what I need in these fights. Now, it does invite hoplites, but you're still building Throwing Axemen anyways. So you're going to clean those up, right? So there's no negative to mixing in some even heavy, because I'm pretty sure he had heavy cav, some heavy Jarls. And anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider following the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.